Happy Vlogmas. It's about 1 o'clock, a little before 1, and I am making my brunch. I ate about 1, I think. And so I got up fairly early, around 8. I had a lot of coffee with a little bit of creamer, and I had a couple of handfuls of nuts and a few bites of tuna that I had left over, but I wasn't feeling a huge appetite, so I put off my brunch until afternoon, which I sometimes do. I try to balance between eating intuitively and understanding that I don't want to wait too late in the day to eat, as we talked about yesterday. So my meal is about at least 25 grams of protein, or 24 grams of protein, because there's 14 grams of protein in the bread and 12 grams in the eggs. So it's a very high protein breakfast with a fair amount of fat too, because I use this pastured butter with olive oil and some non-GMO maple syrup. So I will get that insulin spike, so I'm gonna hop on my bike here. So I did some workout and I got some candles going because I think it's about 3:15, sometime between 3:15 and 3:30, and it's already getting dark. It's already getting dark. So I like to just sort of embrace the evening vibes with my candles. Of course, I mean, candles, in my opinion, are glorious and wonderful and welcome any time of day or night. I love candles. I'd like to learn how to make them. I think that's something I'm going to do over the season. And I'm washing my comforter. It's time to make a winter wash of my comforter. So, let's talk a little bit about movement today, because we talked about food and mindfulness and gratitude yesterday. And I think that all of that also comes in with movement. So we need food to fuel our muscles, and our muscles move our skeleton. And moving our muscles helps blood pump through our circulatory system. And all of this keeps us moving and celebrating and anointing this body with red blood cells, white blood cells, synovial fluid, all the good things in life that keep us healthy. So I like to frame movement as a sacrament, because we are so privileged to have mobility. And it doesn't matter if your mobility is limited, whether it's a little bit from like a little bit of arthritis or injuries, or if you are largely immobile. That's very challenging, and I would struggle with that personally. I think that would be very challenging and difficult. But I think that any movement that you're capable of is to be celebrated, and we should do as much as we can, as gently as we can. And by gently, I don't mean never challenging yourself or stressing or giving your muscles catabolic stress, because that's what enables them to then regrow through anabolic recovery. But just being gentle with yourself. Don't work out in such a violent way that you injure yourself or break down your cartilage and your tendons, etc. So it's kind of hard for me to like really articulate how I feel about movement, because I think, and I've probably talked about this before, but when I found ballet it really helped me feel so different about training, so differently about training my muscles, because it was something that I was good at, and I really wasn't good at sports like catching a ball or kicking a ball or hitting a ball with a baseball bat, things like that. Those things they just felt like really hard, and I wasn't very coordinated, and I wasn't good at them, and I wasn't strong and powerful. I was little tiny and not mighty, you know. But when I found ballet, it just felt so fluid and natural to me that I had the patience and the motivation to put myself through the daily rigors of training. And yes, you push yourself till like your muscles are begging for relief, but um, it's a different kind of training. Like you will, like if you're doing a bunch of jumps, you're like you will, you know, hit the wall, but you build up to that, and then you slow down. It's just a very like scientifically perfect, in my opinion, way of working and training the body. But everybody will find what works for them. So I really like to encourage walking, swimming, um, stretching. Stretching is really important. It engages all of your muscles, and you should also use a little bit of an eccentric contraction resistance when you're doing it. So after you've stretched a little bit, lift and lift and lift like that leg, you know, so that you're in an eccentrically contracted position. So you're doing a little resistance training, but also you're just stretching that out. So you're stretching out all that fascia and your muscles, and you're lengthening the sarcomeres and giving signals to the brain to like send white blood cells and other like ingredients, which I can't think of right now, that build the sarcomere to lengthen the muscle. So it's also part of anti-aging is to continue to stretch. And it also is very reassuring and recentering to our nervous system. It's just a very centering, balancing, renewing way to be good to yourself. So I really would like to encourage you to take at least 5 minutes today to stretch gently. And maybe I will do a stretch class. I feel kind of very cautious about everything I do or say on here because of liability, etc. But I just, this is Vlogmas, and I'm just trying to sort of touch on something every day and meet the Vlogmas challenge. And so I thought the Sacraments would be ideal. And movement is the one I'm talking about today. So, engage in that sacred joy of movement. Find the movement that works for you, that you will stick with, and do it daily, and also change it up a little bit. So let's say you do some resistance work one day, do a little yoga the next, or swim. If you swim a couple of days a week, do some resistance days on your off days. You want to do a little bit of everything so that you're hitting all your core muscle groups, but in different ways of working them out. And just keeping that blood flowing, so movement.